So career planning. This applies to most people. Some people already have a career, some people don't already have a career. But this is going to be a session for you. With this session, we're going to be doing our plan as well. We're going to be working on some SMART goals, which are quite handy to have. You can actually keep a record of your SMART goals going through the course as well, which adds to your sort of evidence level. Excuse me, losing my voice. Don't cheer. Okay. Today, you're going to be going over your career plan, SMART goals, your routes into cyber. Okay, we're looking at CompTIA, something I used to teach. Google, going over your particular plan and doing a plan for yourself. And we're looking at some recommendations as well. So, your plan. Your plan for your future is unique to you and only you. So, sorry if you plan on using AI to create your own, you can't. It's not possible. It can give you a rough guide on what other people have done, looking at other people's actions, looking at their plans and routes into cyber. And I think there's a guy I actually follow a couple of videos on YouTube because they're hilarious, where he's driving along, talking to a camera on his side. And I just keep thinking to myself, you're bragging about a 100 grand sports car you're driving. I know you've rented it because it's very clean and I can see the tag on the door behind you. You're going to crash it. And I can't wait for the insurance call to come through. So they're unique to you. You can look at other people, how they got into their careers, but it's not your guide. Okay. So you kind of use it as a basis, cookie cutter it and say, well, that bit I can do, and this bit I can do, and that bit I've already done. And then I can apply that to me. I think my most successful student had spent 9 years working on checkouts in Tesco. He used his customer service skills to leverage a role as a first line tech support in a company. Pretty cool. And then he lucked into every role above it. Literally, yeah, my boss has gone on holiday and not come back, so they gave me his role. And then his boss is gone, so I got his role as well. Pretty funny. Smart objectives. You probably saw these, or you might remember these from session A1, which was like ages ago. Okay. But smart goals, 5 things: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed. Okay. So the wooden middle finger. Hey, mine does that as well. I do technically. I guess. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Looks normal to me. I'm guessing she must work in tech and be hyper flexible as well. Let me think. She's neurodivergent. We're all hyper flexible. So, you guys are going to create a table. Do this digitally. So, if you've got a pen and paper, you're going to need a lot of paper because you're going to be using this table, hopefully, for the next couple of years. I would create a folder, career planning, because you're going to be making 2 tables in there, okay? At least 2 by the end of the session. One of them is going to be your SMART goals. This is basically going to be a junk table for you to throw in every SMART goal you can think of. Okay? Now, got some examples on here. 2 of these you can actually copy for yourself. You can actually copy all of them if you want to. So, specific goal, learn to swim. We live on an island, believe it or not. I know some politicians didn't realize this during Brexit, but believe it or not, we do live on an island. So learning to swim, pretty good goal, and it's specific. It's measurable. You can either swim or float without sinking like a rock and drowning. I'm not really sure how you want to measure that one with the drowning, but still. You can get it a certificate. So you can measure your progress with a certificate. It's a BSc, British Swimming Certificate. Not to be confused with a B small s C, which is a Baccalaureate of Science. Yes, so I was very proud to get my BSc, and then everyone kind of pointed out it's a British Swimming Certificate. Is it achievable? Yes. Okay, lots of us have it. Okay? Something like 70% of people in the UK grow up and they get themselves a BSc, or they do it as an adult. Okay, is it realistic? Yeah, it's a realistic thing to do. How long is it going to take you? 6 weeks or 6 minutes if you're failing and you're going straight for that test and sinking like a rock. Okay? So that's a specific SMART goal. We have a silly, stupid one. You can learn to fly like Superman. Okay? How are you going to measure it? You can fly around. Okay? You can jump off a building and zip about. Okay? Is it achievable? No, because you're not from the planet Krypton. Sorry. Is it realistic? No, because you're also not a comic book character. Okay? And how long is it going to take you to learn? Nothing, or about 10 to 30 seconds, depending on the height of the building you jump off the test. Okay? What are you doing right now? You are doing a level 3 certificate in cybersecurity. This could be a specific goal. In fact, I would recommend it being your first specific goal. Okay? Level 3 certificate in cybersecurity. Is it measurable? Yes. It is certificated, so you get a certificate at the end of the day, and it is assessed via questions on Moodle, okay, and your attendance in the sessions. Ta-da! Okay. Is it achievable? Yes. Loads of people get it. Is it realistic? Yes. Okay. It's actually needed to get you your springboard into your career. Ah, no worries. Nobody's turning off his video. Quick backhand on the kids. Water pistols, they're great fun. What's those other ones? The Nerf guns. Yeah. I got my little nephew and niece a Nerf gun, can shoot like two of those little Nerf rounds. Not a problem. I bought myself a minigun Nerf gun that can fire about 1,000 rounds. Cheating? Yes. Fun? Yes. I gave it to my mum, their gran. I've never seen her move so fast. She had a great time chasing those kids down. Going back to our goal. Is it time? How long is it going to take you to do? So less than 180 hours. Sounds like a lot. It's actually not that much. Plus I said less than. It's 105 hours of classes, believe it or not. Okay? Which sounds insane. 105 hours. That's a good 4 days non-stop. I'm not going to teach 4 days non-stop. That would be hilarious to see, though. Be a lot of monster being drunk. It's 42 classes times 2.5 hours. Okay, roughly. You know some of these classes overrun by 5 minutes. Sorry. A lot of them underrun by more than 5 minutes. But the average out at 2.5 hours is approximately 60 hours of coursework. How did I get that 60 hours of coursework? The length of time to read those six workbooks you've got. Okay. Multiplied that by 5, and then I added in there roughly 20 minutes or so per question. 15 to 20 minutes. Takes some people quicker to read, some people slower, kind of average it out, but way less than 180 hours. Okay. And last but not least, we have on here, gain your CompTIA ITF Plus. Okay. That's an ITF course. I'll talk about that one in a minute. It's for people that have got no experience whatsoever in IT and computers. Okay. It's got a test, so you can pass the test and you get a certificate. Is it achievable? Yes. Is it realistic? Yes, because it's to do with IT and getting a career in cyber. How long will it take you? 6 months or less? Actually, my record is getting somebody to pass it in a day and a half. So, personal record there. Not bragging at all. It does depend on your experience in IT. That 6 months or less is what they recommend a person take doing it if they walk into it with no experience in IT whatsoever. Literally, how do I turn on a computer? But you guys make some. Reckon you do it in 3 days or 3 months? No, you could do the CompTIA. I mean, you guys know how to use a computer. You're using one right now. 3 months is way too long for that. 3 weeks, you can do it in that. I used to assign my students 6 weeks to pass the ITF. And then I'd start sending them emails. Have you done it yet? Are you ready for your exam yet? Okay. Oops, wrong one. So, relevant is a good one. Yeah. Now, you say relevant is not to you, that wouldn't be relevant to your career goals. If, however, you wanted to work in IT and you know that the newest servers are all kept underwater and you wanted to work in a server farm, you're going to need to learn to scuba dive, which could be the reason I learned to scuba dive a couple of years ago. Have I been scuba diving since? No. I like the way you're thinking, George. Suddenly became relevant, didn't it? Yeah, yeah. Let's see how many of these you guys can create. You could even have a specific goal coming to session I1, which is this session. Is it measurable? And you could stick in there, yes, because you either come to the session or you don't. So it is measurable. It's measured by our attendance. Um, it's also measurable by producing a SWOT and a SAW, or, because you could be doing that today. And you can even stick on there, the date and time of the session. Is it achievable? Yes. Is it realistic? Yes, because lots of people do it. Could also say relevant if you wanted to say relevant. Yes. And time, 2.5 hours. Although I know everyone's secretly counting down time to when the first coffee break's going to be. I had to have a real honest discussion with my brother as to whether or not I should buy an espresso machine for my flat. It came down to the fact that I'm never more than 15 steps from a coffee machine anyway in my flat. So if I had a bigger house, then yeah, I would. What if I can't read the screen? Getting old, need my glasses on. There we go. It's weird. Every time I put my glasses on, I realize what my friends mean when they say I've got such big computer monitors in my home. Why do you need such big screens? Seems normal size to me. I put my glasses on and I realize, nope, they are actually big monitors. I have any that big. Okay, it's that big still. I could get a bigger one. I have a friend who uses an 80-inch projector. Size isn't everything, but it helps. You don't want to keep your SMART goals open for the whole class as well, because you're going to keep on jumping back into it, adding some goals in. There's no limit to the amount of SMART goals you can have. Yeah. A lot of my students will stick on their get the driving certificate or get their driving test passed. I saw a brilliant Facebook post from one of my friends a while ago. 26 attempts to pass their driving test and they finally passed it. Everybody was saying congratulations and well done. And I had to pipe up being realistic and saying, you failed 25 times. You are never driving me or anyone I know anywhere. You are not safe. You shouldn't be on the roads. Sorry. Just imagine failing something 25 times and going, next time's the one. Yeah. I thought maybe just three and out, you know? After you failed three times, just save the money and just don't bother. Okay. At that point, you have to realize after 25 failures, you have to realize maybe it's not all of my instructors. Maybe the problem is me. Yeah, resiliency. Yeah, that is a good thing. So yeah, they don't give up. That's a good thing in their favor. You know, they can actually say that in an interview. Yeah, I never give up. And then there's me. I passed my driving test the first time. They tried to give me two minors, and I argued the minor points. They weren't my fault. I also told off the invigilator because I had an invigilator as well as an examiner, and I told off the invigilator, which apparently no one's ever done before. I mean, honestly, who pulls out in front of an 18-wheeler lorry at a roundabout? I still remember that to this day. It was like, there's an 18-wheeler lorry coming around the roundabout. You should go now. No. I don't want to die today. You can do it when you're driving, buddy. So, has anybody got any smart goals they want to share with us? Is it good? Is it fun? Still writing them all up? Ah, that's what I like to hear. Thing is, I'd write that if I was planning to copy everyone else's. So you can copy some of mine, not the Superman one, because that's a silly one. But you can copy the other ones. So I've actually had students that don't know how to swim. So apologies if anybody here doesn't know how to swim yet. But you can learn. Perfect time of year. Oh, he's got one for me. Oh, complete the trihackme. That's a good one. Yeah, and actually, they say it's going to take 36 hours. Nah, you can do it quicker than that. Fantasy, I like that one. That's a good one. It's 36 hours if you're typing with two fingers. I mean, come on, guys, we can do more than that. Yeah. They do have extra guides on TryHackMe as well, and there's extra blog guides on how to do things, and people have actually written out step by step in different formats as well. I'd also recommend the murder mystery game as well, which is what is the website for that one? It's Night Labs. Well, yeah, I think they do it so that people that don't need a step by step can just race through. It's annoying because I wish there was like extra tabs so you could go onto the other tabs if you were like depending upon your level of competency or confidence. Mystery Night Lab is a great one for learning. I can't spell. Okay. For learning SQL. I haven't actually finished it yet though, so please don't spoil it for me. Spoilers. It is always the butler. Unless you watch the movie Clue, could have been the maid or the narrator. If you guys haven't seen the movie Clue, it's a movie from the early 90s, and there was there's three endings for the movie, and they filmed all three. If you watch it, if you download and watch, you watch on a streaming service, so you watch the DVD, you get all three endings. But they only released the movie in theaters with two endings, and you either got ending one and two, or ending two or three, or ending one and three. And they randomized it across different theaters, and theaters got multiple reels, so they would have different versions. So people would all say, "Oh, they saw this one first, and then they saw this one second." And other people were like, "Oh no, it was definitely this person because that was in the first bit." And then, "Oh no, the first bit was this guy." And I made lots of little arguments about it. And that's the whole point of the movie, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. I used to have a friend who used to play Cluedo religiously. Like every time we'd have a games night, she would insist on bringing Cluedo. She had her own printouts of the cards, and she worked out the perfect method of actually deciding who was likely to be the killer based upon the questions people ask. And she had a probability ratio for each bit going down, mathematically precise. She was a pharmacist, and I'll also say she was also right four times out of five. And if she said she was going to guess first, there's no point carrying on. Just, put your pencil down. She's already won. You know, it's great though. Applying computer science and mathematical precision to a murder mystery. Oh, that's what I love to see. But then I did enjoy that TV show Ludwig that was out recently. Recommend that one. Myrtle. Ooh, not heard of that one. Write that one down as a note. I'll say murder mysteries are one of my guilty pleasures. I don't know why. I like heist movies too. It's almost like I work as a social engineer. So, where are you at the moment? You're green. You're doing your level three certificate in cybersecurity. Where are we going to go from here? Well, we have three routes. So we have route the first, further and higher education. Okay. So this is going to be going out doing a further education course. So you're looking at degree, undergraduate. If you've already got a graduate degree, you could do something like a postgraduate as well, which is like a master's. Um, I'm really tempted to do a master's and a doctorate, but it costs money and I don't have money. Why does education even cost money? Oof, horrible thing. Right. So further higher education courses. When you're looking to do a further higher education course, if you're looking to do that, make sure that the course you're looking at is accredited by the BCS, that's the British Computer Society. If you go to the British Computer Society, you can actually see their website. You'll even find a list of universities that they themselves accredit. It's important to do that because if you do a BCS accredited course, it upgrades your degree to be a BCS or BSc, a Bachelorette of Science, in whatever subject you're studying. So my business IT degree is actually a Bachelorette of Science, which means it's a computer science degree, which is fantastic. Okay. All they had to do was make sure we had a group assignment on there. It was pretty nifty. However, it shows that you have read the best current standards and the best practices in that subject matter. So they literally say, well, we did this 30 years ago. There's no point studying this 30 years ago. We need to study the best, the latest, the greatest. Okay. So if they've got you studying C sharp as the only programming language that exists, well, that was the 1980s and the 1990s. Nowadays, we use Python. Okay. When I was studying, it was Java. Okay. Uh, named after the coffee shop where they wrote the code. Funnily enough, not to be confused with Java. So there's Java code and JavaScript. I learned both because I'm a SWAT. What can I say? Um, but they are nowhere near as good as Python. Okay. Route the second, work. Go and get a job. What we want to do, in fact, you kind of want to do two of these at the same time. Okay? So our second route, there's two routes here. We have apprenticeships and a new career. New career for people that are reskilling or skilling up. So you've already got a career. You might already be working as a manager. You might already be working in IT, but you're skilling up to go into cyber instead, and you're moving across. Okay? So you've already got a role, already got a job, or you've recently had one. You're just skilling across. You're reskilling, skilling across, or skilling up. I'm actually helping somebody who was a manager in the NHS. She has never had a job at all to do with IT, doesn't understand computers or IT at all. And I'm helping her go through and study up her CompTIA certifications to do her Security Plus to then go for a role with NHS Digital as a manager. So she doesn't need to know how to do everything, but she needs to know enough to be a manager for that level. Because then the people that aren't interested in being a manager can actually have somebody who's an experienced manager doing the hard stuff for them. If you've seen the that TV show, The IT Crowd, basically she's being Jen from the IT Crowd. Okay, letting the people that actually know about computers do the computer stuff while she does the managing stuff and acting as a buffer between them, which is fantastic. Other routes in apprenticeship. So two sort of apprenticeships you can be looking at. You have tech support as a first role. If you're going for a tech support first line role, make sure the company has a cybersecurity division as well, and let them know that you're more interested in cybersecurity if that's what you're more interested in. Okay? Because then they will literally say, yeah, 4 days a week you'll be doing first line, 1 day a week you'll be helping out on the security things until you do XYZ certification. Okay? Usually a CompTIA certification in A plus or Security Plus. Okay? And then as soon as you get that, they jump you across. Okay? I've had quite a few students who've not been able to get a role as a junior security analyst, who've actually got a role as first line tech support, where they've been sort of job sharing and doing an extra day a week with the security guys. Okay? And then they've moved over straight onto their team as soon as they've completed their additional certifications. Okay? It's an extra thing to do, but it's also good if you have no experience in deep IT. Okay? First line tech support is usually answering the telephone and being like, yeah, I'll reset your password for you. Okay, and what do you do with the other 45 minutes of the hour? Twiddle your thumbs or study for your next qualification. Junior cybersecurity analyst roles, there are so many of those now. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely fantastic. You'll either find an apprenticeship as an analyst, so apprentice analyst, apprentice junior cybersecurity, apprentice in security, anything like that. Snap it up when you can. They don't expect you to have 30 years experience in IT. Okay, not a problem. They know that you don't have that already, and they've probably already got a CPD plan in place for all of their apprenticeships as well. They may even have a third-party provider providing their training for their apprentices, and you'll have 1 or 2 days a week where you actually go and study instead. Okay? You get those roles, it's absolutely golden. I love it. It's the best thing since sliced bread. Maybe self-toasting bread one day. That'd be quite cool. But yeah, junior cybersecurity analyst is the gold standard to be aiming for. Yes, George, definitely. Those apprenticeships with a level 3 certificate, you can just go straight for those apprenticeships. You can go and start applying for the apprenticeships before you've even finished this course. You tell them that you're studying this course, and I literally get an email sent through from training providers or on people that are actually looking to hire saying, is this person studying the course? And I'm like, yeah, they are. They suck, but yeah, no, I never say that. Just like, they've totally failed their last 5 questions on Moodle and they haven't done the no. So yeah, they're studying it. Their expected end date is this. Okay. So don't let not having it in your hand hold you back. It held me back when I was younger. Okay, because so when I was younger, I say, despite looking as youthful as this, guys, I am, in my 40s. We didn't have apprenticeships and stuff when I was looking to get into IT as a nipper. Okay. You had to have a degree or nothing. So that's why I went and got a degree. Nowadays, you do not need a degree at all. You can save yourself £60,000 by not getting a degree. But how are you going to get the information in your head that you need to actually get rid of the really good roles? Route the third on the right-hand side, certifications. Yay! Okay. Two main providers are CompTIA, they are the industry standard, they are the gold star, and Google. Okay. Google do their certifications through a company called Coursera. Okay. To study those, it costs you nothing. Free. 100% free. You don't have to pay to study any of those courses. You can pay to study them. You can get a training provider, pay to study them. You can pay for training materials. Okay. Professor Messer is the guy who does the free videos online for CompTIA. He even asks questions every day on Instagram, okay, and the other social media platforms. And you can answer those questions, and the next day he'll actually post the correct answer and how you get to the correct answer. And he'll even post why people put the incorrect answer on there as well, what they're usually thinking, the process they're going through. I've done a couple myself. I've got quite a few that are right. I've got a few that were wrong. How did I get those wrong? I guessed. I was like, I don't know. I'm going to guess. If you put nothing as an answer, you're going to get it wrong either way, right? So, is there an alternative? There are alternatives to Professor Messer, but nowhere near as good. And he's the only person who CompTIA recommend. So he's kind of got he's got kind of got a handle on that one. If you sent if you sent his team an email and just said, "Do you have a dark mode? Because I don't like the white background," they probably might actually go, "Maybe we should," and they might start making some, because I'd find that quite useful as well. Yeah, make sure you have your blue light filter turned on your screen, which a lot of people forget about. So CompTIA and Google, I've got a couple of slides of CompTIA coming up in a second, so don't worry about that. I've also got a couple on Google. The Google ones, there are ones that you can pay for to do with Coursera. The better ones you pay for to do, all the beginner ones are kind of free. There's one on AI, and keep a note of this one for your SMART goals. Do a Google AI course. It takes 8 hours. It is free. What is the biggest influx to the digital industry in the last 5 years? Can anyone tell me? Giving a huge clue. You guys know what it's going to be. LLMs? No, it's AI. AI. Everyone wants AI now. If you have any understanding of AI, whack it on your CV. If you've done a cheap, free AI 8-hour course on Google on AI, whack it on that CV. I think there's like a 20-hour video course you can watch, but it has a small test at the end of it you have to pay for as well. But that's specifically for AI in cybersecurity. Okay? But anything on AI is going to put you head and shoulders above other people that are studying level 3 certificate in cybersecurity who've not done anything to do with AI. Okay? So you're going to stand out head and shoulders above them, just for watching a few videos on an afternoon or a couple of afternoons. Okay? One of the best things in the world are those shades that you can get with a little video screen on, because you can go sunbathing on the beach and watch a video. Do I have those shades? No, I don't. Please send them to me by care of the head office. I'd love to get a pair of those. What else do we have on our list here? We have now got SQL, Python, PHP, and HTML. Literally in that order. I've done the job for you. Okay. So I'll put a link in the chat. I've got that link to give you later on anyway on SQL. Okay. You can learn SQL in 6 hours or less. Okay. I think you can actually get the basics of it in about 45 minutes. Okay. 2 hours and it's stuck in your head forever. Okay. So that SQL, you got the cool murder mystery. It's a fun little game to do. Teaches you SQL as you're going along. Python is a full language. Okay. You can learn Python in less than 10 hours. Okay. You don't need to become the world's greatest programmer in 10 hours. Okay. You just need to learn the basics. So when you're looking at some code, you can say, yeah, that's Python. Well done. That's it. You need to be able to look at it and say, that's Python. After 10 hours of doing some basic Python programming, and there's lots of places online to go to, I recommend W3 Schools for a lot of programming as well, because it's free. Um, After 10 hours of learning any programming language, you'll be able to point to it and say, that's this language, that's a for clause, that's a loop. Okay. That's the most important things in any language. Loops, clauses, breaks. Okay. You can do a full Python course and do a certificate on it as well. The basic Python courses are out there with a free certificate on them as well. Google do those too. Quite strange coincidence. PHP, very easy to learn. It does like SQL. And actually, my first language was HTML, right at the bottom. So HTML with the upgrade of XML and CSS is actually what we use for writing websites. Exceptionally easy to learn how to do. It's a tag-based language. It's literally little crocodile tags, open tag, color, pink, close tag. Done. Okay. Basic. Oh, that takes me back a few years. But yeah, XML is the upgrade to HTML where you can create your own tags. Yeah. And CSS is what they actually use now as an upgrade to HTML, because in the old days of making a website, a web page, you'd have to actually copy the top code from every page into every file you're going to use in a website. And that was going to be your menu and all your banners for your advertisements and stuff. Nowadays, you just create one CSS file rather than having to have a whole bunch of text in every single file. Especially when you change something in your menu, you have to change every single file on your website and change, 300 files individually and manually. It was a huge headache, but CSS fixes it all. So yeah, my first language, HTML. I'm dyslexic, so I'm very visually oriented. I recommend learning both PHP and HTML. Of the two, I preferred HTML. They are both used in e-commerce. The most important on that list is SQL, because SQL is used throughout business. When you're launching scripts, everything else is SQL. Where are they? W3 Schools is the place I recommend for learning every language. There are a few other places I've come across. Codex is another new one, which I only found last month, so I haven't had a full deep dive into it, but it does it as a more gamified version of learning. W3 Schools is a bit more static and take you by the hand, guiding you step by step. W3 Schools has been around for 20 plus years. Long time. And last up on my list, I've got Amazon and Microsoft. What do you guys think Amazon and Microsoft might be doing on my list? And why? I know how to use Amazon to buy stuff. George has got it. AWS and Azure. Yep. They are the largest servers out there. So if you're going to be using servers, which you probably will at some point, and using cloud services, it's most likely going to be AWS and Azure. I think AWS is now something like 60% of all internet traffic. Azure accounts for something like 30%. Okay. And then there's like a CCNA for like a tiny bit, okay, and IBM. Okay. So most likely going to be an AWS environment or an Azure environment. The basic training courses for learning how to use their servers and learning how to use their cloud services are free, completely free. And the reason they give those away for free is because they want you to study it for free and they want you to get addicted to using it and being like, yeah, I'm going to recommend all my clients use AWS because I know how to use AWS, but I haven't done an Azure course at all. Do them both, guys. Do both the basic courses for both of them. Get the basic free certificate from both of them. And they're both going to say to you, yeah, you should definitely study the next course. Pay us this much money, you can do it. Or study the next course for free and pay to do the certificate. Okay? But the basics, completely free. It looks great on your CV. Because again, other people going for the same roles you're going to be going for, okay, either as a beginner apprenticeship or if they've reskilled, they won't have that on their CV. Okay? So you're going to stand out from the crowd. Okay? The most important thing that we look for anytime that we're hiring a new person to join our team, especially if they're an apprenticeship or they're new to IT, it's not how many certificates they've got, it's an interest in IT. If you've gone out there and you've shown you've got an interest in IT, you've done this 8-hour course in AI. Okay, you didn't have to do that, but you've done it. Okay, that shows me you've got an interest in IT, and that's more important to me than anything else. Any idea how long it takes? How long would it take me? Probably a day and a half, if that. How long it would take you? Probably a day and a half, if that. Not too long. How long is your day? Mine's about 18 hours. I don't sleep much. I miss sleep. So yeah, it depends on how interested you are in it. If you want to do a deep dive, if you get stuck on something and you've reread this line 3 or 4 times and you're still stuck, how long before you actually say, you know what, I'm going to do a quick search online, see if I can find it explained somewhere else. Okay. Don't sit there going over the same thing over and over again if you're getting stuck with it. Look for help. Quick look up online, get fantastic, and then come back to it. Okay. The online technical knowledge database, when you're learning anything IT related, is your friend. Okay. If you're not sure about the address for the online technical knowledge database, it's also called Google. But we give it the fancy name when we're talking to other people, okay? Yeah, we Google everything IT. It's a big secret. We just don't talk about it. The trick is learning where to find the Google results and where to how to filter through them to find the good stuff. And for that, you want to use your operators. So make sure things are, plus, open bracket, or open your speech marks, thing you want to have, and then everything will be inside there. If you want to discount, so get something removed, stick minus. Okay. Now, most important thing for any work in IT, as I'm sure you guys are aware, is a coffee break, which is what we're going to have now. Okay. So grab yourself 10 minutes, come back at 10:30 with a nice hot steaming cup of coffee or tea or Vimto or hot chocolate, whatever you need. So let's talk about CompTIA. So if you've not come across CompTIA before, they are the industry gold standard for ensuring proficiency in a chosen field. Okay. They are internationally recognized and they are stackable, which means that you can add them together and you get a new qualification. So you do one on its own, that's one thing, do a second one, something else, put the two together and you become something else. Okay. They even have a guide on their website of which ones you can put together and what you can do with them once they're together. So what roles you can aim to do if you have several of those certifications together, what you can be aiming for. Doesn't really help much because in the world of IT, they seem to just put random job titles on things. Just like, yeah, we'll just give it a cool job title. That'll be nifty. Okay. It's really annoying. But hey, it happens. So I have here a list of 10 that I've chosen. I have other ones that can be beneficial to you as well in CompTIA. We'll get to those in a minute. These are the 10 to aim for. So if you've got your SMART goals up, whack these 10 in there. Okay. How far you want to go down these 10 is completely up to you. I would recommend going down to 8 at the very least, and then after a few years in IT, go for number 9 and then 10. Okay. Now, your ITF Plus. This is the bog standard basic how to turn on a computer. This is a keyboard. This is a screen. Yay! Okay. I recommend teenagers do this one if they've, been living in a cave for their entire lives. Okay. It is the bog standard. It is the IT fundamentals. You can study this one for free online on YouTube. You don't even need to actually pick up a computer to study it. It is that basic and simple. It's literally a case of, look here, this is a Windows operating system. This is an Apple operating system. This is an Android phone. It is very, very basic. It's really good if you have absolutely no background whatsoever in IT. You don't know how computers work at all. You don't know what a CPU is. You don't know what RAM is. If I say to you volatile memory, is that going to be in your hard drive? Is that going to be your RAM? If you're not entirely sure, ITF plus. If I said to you the word CPU and RAM, you're like, what the hell is he talking about? ITF plus. It is a complete total of 12 to 20 hours at most. Okay. You don't need that if you have a later certificate. Okay, people already assume you have the knowledge. Okay. If you've never sat a CompTIA exam before, you've never sat one of their exams, and you're not sure how you're going to get on with the exam, they are the invigilators. So there's two ways of doing the exams. You can either do the exam in a test center run by Pearson VUE, or you can sit the exam online run by Pearson VUE again. Okay. The ITF Plus exam costs 60 quid. Remember that, because every other exam costs 280. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm going to fail something, the A plus is 2 exams because it covers such a wide area. Everything else is 1 exam. All of the others are 1 exam. Okay. The A plus is 2 because it's such a wide area, which literally splits hardware and software. Okay. If you're going to sit any exam before the Security Plus, it would be the A plus. Okay. It is absolutely perfect if you have no background in IT whatsoever. Okay. If, however, you've got a degree in IT, you can skip the A plus entirely. Okay. You can do the network. You can do the Network Plus at any point. I usually suggest studying for it before the Security Plus, at least studying for it. If you're going to study for it, you must do the exam as well, purely because it covers a whole load of networking things that aren't inside the Security Plus. If you have the A plus and the Network Plus, you can actually get an additional gold badge from CompTIA because you get the ITF, the A plus, the Network Plus. You get an extra thing. If you have the ITF Plus and the A plus, you can get a badge saying you can do IT support. Okay. If you get the Network Plus one, it lets you be an IT technician. You get a badge saying an IT technician, so they stack like that. Yep, you can completely skip the ITF Plus entirely. The A plus is basically the ITF plus on steroids and protein shake and a healthy diet and those human growth hormones that all the Marvel movie stars get for free. Okay. Certifications remain valid for 3 years unless you're studying for another one, and it's 3 years since your last. So you don't have to re-study the same one if you're studying for the next one, or you just repeat the last one. And they say 3 years because they produce a new one every 3 years. The new Security Plus is out, I think it's the start, this month. Okay. So you come along at just the right time. Okay. If, however, you're studying the old Security Plus because you need to update your certificate, you're screwed. Hello. They usually wait 3 years before they do the updates. 3 years is quite a short time in the world of certifications, but in the world of IT, we know that even 1 year is a rapidly changing pace. The difference between the new Security Plus and the older Security Plus, and the newer A Plus and the older A Plus, is AI. Okay. They've added in a whole section on AI. They have to. Okay. There's a reason why the Security Plus is in bold, slightly larger, and in italic on this page. It's because that's the one you guys really want to be aiming to do. Okay. So if you don't like networking, you don't have to study networking. If you study for the A plus, and you realize that actually networking really sucks, you never want to see a network in your entire life, you can skip it entirely. But if you do the Network Plus certificate and the Security Plus, then you can go for a role as a network security administrator, which is a huge black hole in cybersecurity because there are so few people that have studied it, and actually gone for those roles. So network administrator, 40 grand, security administrator, 40 grand, network plus, put those together. Yeah. What I recommend for senior, doing your security plus, going all the way down to your CASP. I would pretty much do everything you can. Vibe. Don't. I've seen so many stories of people that have hired someone to do programming and they've just vibed it and they can't actually explain the code itself. And there's no commenting on the code because it's just been vibed. Yes, ChatGPT, by the way, the latest versions of ChatGPT are adding in invisible characters in the spaces, which have the ChatGPT code to say it's been written by ChatGPT. So if you're using ChatGPT, you have to stick it into a code analyzer to then manually remove that code yourself. And by the time you've done all of that, you might as well write it yourself. Okay. Security Plus is the most important one. If you're looking at other training courses out there to do with security, you might come across the CISP. Okay. Security Plus is basically similar to the CISP. It's a bit tougher, a bit more meat on its bones. It is the better version. Once you have done your Security Plus, there's two small ones after it that are designed to go on top of the Security Plus. That's CYSA, which is the basically cybersecurity analyst, okay, and the pen test. Okay, so obviously pen test is all about pen testing, penetration testing. Okay, security analyst. When you guys are going for roles as analyst, if you've got CYSA plus, obviously you're going to be head and shoulders above other people. Both of those are designed to be done after the security plus, but there is no harm in you doing them before. In terms of time, A plus is designed to take at least 6 months. Okay, so Network Plus is designed to take about 3 months. Okay. If you're studying at full time, though, reduce that time all the way down. Okay. So when they say how long is it going to take you to study, what they mean is an hour a day. Okay. In the afternoon, when you come home from work, and that hour is going to be 2 half-hour bits. Half an hour before dinner, have your dinner, half an hour after dinner, and then that's going to take you, a good 6 months. Okay. If you're not doing that and you're actually studying every day, it's not going to take you 6 months. It's going to take you a couple of weeks. Okay. The Security Plus, though, should be taking you 6 months or so. The Security Plus is one that you can start studying. You can do it with Professor Messer for free. Go get yourself a job. Tell them you're studying for your Security Plus. Actually stick that on your CV and in your covering letter. I'm currently studying for my Security Plus. I would recommend buying Professor Messer's book as well, but you don't have to. You can do it just from the videos. More than a few of my students have done it just with the videos. Then get your employer to pay for it. It's part of your CPD. They will pay for you to do the exam. Okay. Once you've done that exam, CYSA and pen test, they are both short courses. Yeah, we're talking a month at most. Okay. And you ought to get both of those out the way as well. Then you're a security specialist. Cloud Plus and Data Plus. I've mentioned it a couple of times. Big black holes in the area of cybersecurity is cloud and data. Okay. We've now realized that a lot of jobs can be done from home. Okay. When you're doing jobs from home, you need to make sure that data is secure and cloud services are set up properly. That hasn't been done for a lot of companies because they've jumped onto the whole remote working bandwagon late, which means they've set them up incorrectly. Okay. Now they've got a big black hole in their security team. They need to hire somebody on their security team who's aware of those things. How do you prove that? Get your Cloud Plus and your Data Plus. Again, they are both short courses. They're the short mini ones. Okay. So they'll be nice and quick and easy to do. Now, your CASP and your Security X. These are at the very bottom of the list. You cannot study the CASP online. Not happening. Okay? You cannot go to a course like this and just answer questions on the course to do your CASP. You have to do it with a person who already has their CASP, okay? And they are going to be your mentor while studying for your CASP. You have to do it while working in industry because everything you do is going to be a project at work. You have to do it with your boss's permission because everything you do is going to be a project at work and you're writing up on what you did, okay? And what you're planning to do. And then your mentor's going to help you out with that. It is advanced. You don't need it to progress massively in life. You do need it if you want those 100 grand a year jobs. Um, if you enjoy stress, fantastic. I hope you enjoy the 100 grand a year job. I don't like stress, so I work as a tutor. Honestly, you burn out. CASP is up there. Okay, it's the be all and end all. Okay? You have the CASP, you've made it. Okay? If you have CASP and you are earning less than £65,000 a year, then you've probably already hit burnout or there's something wrong with you. Okay? It is the absolute end all be all of it. You need to have about 5 years experience in IT. Okay? Bear in mind, doing that Security Plus certificate counts as a year and a half of experience. Okay? Doing the A Plus certificate counts as a year's experience. So you get those two under your belt, you're already 2.5 years of experience under your belt. Even though you've not actually worked in IT for those 2.5 years, that's 2.5 years worth of experience. And then you can apply that. So after you've been in a role doing the actual work for a year, year and a half, you can then start looking at doing your CASP. The CASP does take, a year to 2 years to get. Okay. And that's not me saying an hour a night. That is you working full time. You're doing your CASP on the side. It is part of your CPD in your job role. Okay. So a good question to ask with a large organization when you're going for your senior analyst position is there anyone here that's already got their CASP that could help me get going towards getting my CASP in the future because that's my career aspiration. Okay. When you're looking for those apprenticeship roles, the first steps into IT, you can say, yeah, CASP is in my eventual career goal 5 years down the line. Right now, I'm studying towards my A plus or my Security plus. Okay. That's what I'm going to be saying at that point. Your Security X is beyond CASP. It is people that are architects and they can set up an entire security system from the ground up. These are the guys, six-figure salaries, and they say, yeah, I might get out of bed for that. Okay. Um, it's up there. I do not have my Security Plus. I'm never going to get that. I'm never going to bother with it. I don't need it. If I set up my own security company, then it might be something I have to look at getting, but I'm not going to do it anytime soon. Okay. That's the security side of things. That's your plan for the future going forward. Now, other CompTIA certifications. If you study that A plus and you decide, actually, I quite like this other side of IT, we have things like the cloud section, so Cloud Plus, Cloud Net Plus, or Cloud Net X, Cloud Essentials. Okay, you probably want to study the A plus and the Network Plus to go along with those cloud ones as well. Okay. But that's your Cloud Essentials. We have data just to the right of it. Okay, you have Data Plus, Data X. Okay, if you're going to be the chief data controller for a company, okay, if you're going to be the information security officer, the ISO, you should have that Data Plus under your belt anyway, alongside your Security Plus. Maybe you decide that actually you really like working with data. Okay, you actually really love studying SQL, okay, and you love data. Look at doing your Data X. Okay. Similarly, networking. If you like doing your networking, do the Network Plus. After the Network Plus, you can then do the Linux Plus and the Server Plus. Before you study Linux Plus and Server Plus, you must study Network Plus. Okay? It's kind of like learning to fly a jet plane without knowing who the Wright brothers are. Assuming everyone here knows who the Wright brothers were, right? Just the biplane, wooden thing, yeah. It'll never fly. Yes, it will. What if it doesn't? It'll fly. 3 meters later, it flew. So yeah, you need that Network Plus under your belt. If you like networking, you're going to have the Network Plus anyway. Okay? Networking is one of those things. It's like Marmite. Okay? You love it or you hate it. Sauteed. Last on my list, I have Project Plus. Okay? This is actually on my personal CPD plan as well. So it's actually one of my SMART goals. Project Plus. Now, Project Plus is, if you've ever seen project work, project managers, a lot of them have gone up there, they've done like a Prince 2 or any kind of project management. Prince 2 used to be the gold standard. It's not the gold standard anymore. I wouldn't recommend studying Prince 2 at this point in time, mostly because it is hugely overpriced and it doesn't cover everything. Okay, it doesn't even cover things in the IT world. Okay. Project Plus, however, does, and it's from an IT perspective. So if you're looking to do any sort of project management in IT, you need Project Plus. Okay. If you're looking to be an IT manager, managing your own department, I would recommend getting that Project Plus. It's a medium-sized one. Okay, so it's more than a month, less than 6. Okay, but it's worth getting under your belt. If you want to be a manager, it's worth getting on there. Okay. I'd also recommend, if you were looking and thinking of doing project management in IT, which is a great career to go for, got quite a few friends who've done it, get cloud and data on there as well, because you're going to be working with cloud and data for a lot of projects. Okay? And it's good to have that good basics under your belt. Okay? Enough about CompTIA. Fun stuff, right? Pretty pictures. Your route. So that's your future. What are you doing now? Okay? Core skills, if you like the infrastructure side of things. Infrastructure, if you like the cyber side of things. Yay, cyber side of things. I spent ages last week, okay, making this box bigger than the other one because they put the boxes the wrong size round. Okay. Cybersecurity is the big box for a reason. I'm not biased at all. I totally am biased. Okay. I've done the infrastructure side of things. Cyber's more fun, more money too. Okay. Your core skills up at the top. So ITF, A plus, Network plus, Security plus. Okay. Getting those 4 will get you pretty much any medium role in IT security. Okay. So you're not just a junior, okay, but higher up as well. Okay. Also, you'll get all of those tech support roles, skill roles, level 2, level 3, not just level 1. Okay. ITF plus can get you a level 1 role anywhere. Okay. A plus might get you a level 2 role as tech support, might get you as a basic in some of the junior cybersecurity roles, but really that security plus is going to be your ticket. Once you've got that junior role, start aiming towards getting that security plus. Once you've got that security plus, start aiming towards getting a senior role, because now you've got security plus, you're not a junior. That's the way it works. You've got your security plus, you're not a junior anymore. You should be aiming for a senior role or a standard role, either static or senior. And then you can aim towards either doing your infrastructure or your cybersecurity. With that cybersecurity, I mentioned the CYSA and the pen test. Okay. Once you've got those under your belt, you should be aiming for that CASP. Okay. And then I'll be jealous of you. Okay. You'll be coming back to me again. Ollie, can you come and train some people? I'm like, yeah, all right. Give me more money. Okay. That's your route. Okay. Preferably, obviously, I want you to be aiming towards the cybersecurity route. Okay. You can see how it works now. If, however, you find once you study the A plus and once you study that Network plus, you realize actually I quite like the infrastructure side of things, go towards doing infrastructure. You will still get a role in cybersecurity studying the infrastructure route, not just the cybersecurity route, because we still need it. Okay. When I sit there as Mr. Cybersecurity guy and say, yeah, we need to go fix the server, who do I call? I don't call the guy with his CASP. I call the guy who's got his Network Plus, he's got his Linux, and he's got his Server Plus. Okay? Because he's the guy that specializes in that. That's where their interest is. Similarly, there's no point studying up into something that you don't enjoy. Okay? If you enjoy studying it, you enjoy the subject matter, you're going to enjoy the job. Okay? And yes, I know it's called work, not fun, but either way, you're going to enjoy it. I could have sworn I changed that typo. I do apologize for the typo, guys. Blame someone else. Okay. No, Google certifications. Okay. It's another pathway to study. They do this with Coursera. Okay. So they for Coursera basically do their courses. Now, cybersecurity course is literally called cybersecurity. 3 to 6 months. IT support, 3 to 6 months. Business intelligence, 1 to 2 months. If you're looking to have your own business, that's a great one to go with. Okay. Artificial intelligence. Oh, wow. If only somebody made it bold and italic and really stand out. 8 hours. Data analytics, 3 to 6 months. E-commerce and digital marketing, 3 to 6 months. Project management, 3 to 6 months. Did I mention the artificial intelligence is only 8 hours? Everyone, smart goals, Google, artificial intelligence, 8 hour course, 8 hours of your life. You can stick it on your CV. Why would you not do that? Okay, be absolutely insane. I can see why you don't want to do, your IT support or your cybersecurity because that's between 3 and 6 months, of an hour or so a day. But artificial intelligence can be done. That's your afternoon and an evening or 2 mornings at the weekend, something like that. Yeah. Insane not to do it, especially when there's nothing else IT related on your CV. Okay? You want to take this chance now to prove that to any prospective employer that A, you're interested in IT, and they can look at your CV and say, why have you done this Google course? It's the basics in artificial intelligence. Why have you done that? So, well, AI is really important in the current world and the current techscape. AI is going to be really important in the near future. And it's important I have a good understanding of it. And it's important that anybody that you employ for this role has an understanding of AI, either basic or advanced. Do you think anyone else on the day he's going to be interviewing has got an understanding of AI and has actually gone and done 8 hours of a course? Probably not. Does he know it's 8 hours? Probably not. He might think you spent 2 months studying it. I don't care. It's on your CV and you got a certificate from Google, of all places, to prove it. Okay? Now, your turn. I know. Ollie's making us write stuff. It's really hard. You guys are going to now make for us your own plan. Right. You have two important questions. Where do I want to be in 2 years? Where do I want to be in 5 years? Okay. Now, this is me being brutally honest. You are not going to be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company in 2 years' time. Okay. If you had that kind of get up and go, you would have done that when you were age 20. Stick something down. Popular one amongst my students, buy a new car. Okay. I've seen that quite a lot. People want a new car. Okay. It seems to be a mark of success. Okay. My favorite one I've seen from students is a 5-year plan, buy a house. Okay. I want my own home. I want to be on the housing market. Okay. Which is actually my favorite one because I bought my own home 3.5 years ago now. Okay. What you want to do is plot out some key points on that route. Okay. So your 2-year plan might be complete my CompTIA Security Plus, okay, which is a very good 2-year plan. In that 2 years, I would say the first year should be aiming towards getting your level 3 completed. That's a key point. The next key point is study for your A plus. Next key point, complete your A plus exams. Remember, there's 2 of them for the A plus, and then start studying for your Security Plus. Ooh, practical tips on getting into governance, risk, and compliance. Look at the management roles. Okay. Look at companies that aren't necessarily IT security. So they might be a law firm looking for somebody to make sure there's compliance. Look at the actual ISO. You can actually get ISO certified as well, which means you can actually get certified in making sure people can get to go into it. Oh yeah. And there's another version of that which is Competi. I can't remember off the top of my head. I do apologize. But it's another version of that ISO certificate. ISO being international, whereas the other one is more European. Um, look as well at sort of the safety side of things. Don't just look under the word cybersecurity. You will be surprised that a lot of cybersecurity roles are not engineering. I don't program. I learned programming when I was well, before I went to uni, I learned programming. I then went to uni and they told me at uni, yep, you need to study programming. Everybody needs to have a programming language. So I added on to my languages. I've now got about 30 plus languages that I know. I've never, ever had to do any programming whatsoever in cybersecurity. Not once. When I've needed someone to do it, I've just got someone else to do it or I've paid someone to do it. I've never had to write a script. I found it online and I've used it. I can read the script because I learned the programming language, so I know what the script says and does and means, and I know what bits to change. I didn't have to write it from scratch because somebody that's better than me has already done it, and I didn't need to do the programming. There are other people out there that do that programming, and they do the full engineering, and they will do the network engineering and everything else. So you don't have to go into the engineering side of it. A plus 6 months, network 3 months, security plus 6 months. Yep, you can either do that or you can double it. Okay. The recommendation is double what you've written there, George, but I shrink it down because I assume people are going to be studying more than 1 hour a day. Okay. If you've gone for your first role in IT, they should be giving you CPD time during the week. A lot of places will give you one afternoon a week, but that one afternoon is 4 hours. Okay, that's 4 hours plus the other 4 days of the week. You could easily squeeze an hour of CPD into there. Okay, they're not going to be checking up on you every second of the day. That's now 8 hours a week. Plus, when you go home or you finish work, you might as well do half hour of studying. You know, you're going to play a game on a computer, not a problem. Take a break from the game, 15 minutes of studying. Yeah. If you take a break every hour and you say you do, say, 3 or 4 hours gaming a night, that's now an hour of studying. Well, you don't play RuneScape because it's a terrible old game. Oblivion 4 just got remastered. I mean, come on now. I'm not going to buy the Oblivion 4 remaster because, well, I am going to buy the Oblivion 4 remaster. Yes, I'm not going to lie about that. I will buy it, but I'm not going to buy it right now because I just bought another game this week. I'm going to wait a couple of months for the summer sale, then I'll buy it in the sale. Also, the new Dune game is coming out next month, and I'm really interested in playing that one because I love Dune. Peter, does it make me a script teenager, not script kiddie? Uh, hey, most script kiddies are teenagers, so really, I'd call myself a script abuser. But I will say though that I have used a script that I found online to add all the free games on Steam to my account, and it can do 50 per day, and I ran it for 6 months solid a couple of years ago. Runs in a browser, brilliant script. I've seen my favorite bug so far that I've seen in Oblivion because it's gonna be a buggy game because you know who produced it. Obviously, it's gonna have a bug. But My favorite one so far is when you max out your acrobatic skill, you grow, you get bigger, and you become a giant. They do have the Golden Horse armor, which is the world's first DLC, paid DLC. Yep, it all comes down to that. They've also got it opposite the Daedric armor you can get for the horse as well. But you have to buy the special edition of the game, obviously, with the add-ons. Because I had the original version with the add-ons, I can't really not buy the special edition now with the add-ons because I want to replay it. But yeah. I mean, how can you play an Oblivion game and not have Daedric armor? So who's got a good 2 year goal for me? Where do you want to be? I mean, I'd quite like to be sat somewhere really cold but sunny. I don't like the heat. Can I get a cruise around Antarctic maybe? That'd be a cool goal for me to have. Um, Both, Peter. Both. Apply for both. Um, Literally, I don't know if I like pen testing or not. Do you like coding? Because there's two routes in pen testing. The coding route, which I had a friend do, and he wouldn't shut up about how great and amazing coding is, sat in his bedroom at home, working from a desk in his bedroom that his parents own, because he lives at home with his mum and dad, despite the fact he was 35 years old. And he would never want to move out because he had it made. And then the other route of pen testing, my route, I'm going to break into a place. Yeah, it's okay. I had permission. I actually said to a security guard once who went to capture me, I said, yes, here's my letter of giving me permission to be here and break in. We're going to pretend that I beat you up. The guy was like a foot taller than me and built like an absolute outhouse. Um, he laughed when I said it. I said, we're just going to pretend that I beat you up. Okay. So how long before you get a radio check? Because, well, they saw you on the camera. I was like, great. Am I on the camera now? I was like, no. Okay, so you tell me where the cameras are, and I'm going to pretend that I tortured the information out of you. And how long before they actually could give you a radio check on the radio? And it took about 25 minutes before they called him on the radio. He was walking around with me as well, telling me where everything is. It was great. Oh, and he let me into the CEO's office and took a picture of me behind the CEO's desk with my phone. So he was a really helpful guy. Yeah. Is CYSA in 2 years realistic? Yes, it is. Yeah, definitely at the CYSA. I would aim to get that Security Plus done first. Okay. If you have experience in IT already, you can even skip doing an A plus entirely, go straight for that Security Plus. My one of my friends did his Security Plus how long ago now? 2 months, 2.5 months ago now. He said to me the biggest tip he would ever give anyone else doing their Security Plus, the current Security Plus, because I need to update mine. But the biggest tip for doing anyone with the current Security Plus is don't put it off, because you're going to convince yourself that you're not good enough for it. You don't have the experience, everything else, but you do. He says just don't put it off. And he said, and he actually took 3 attempts to do his, which is very surprising. Um, See, Ian, you have 2 years, a stable job with a completed CompTIA Security Plus. Fantastic goal. Okay. Next step for you, Ian. What are the key points in getting that 2 year goal? What do you have to do to get that stable job? So you need to add in there, write a good CV that you can then customize for different roles, write a good cover letter you can customize for different roles, apply for job roles, um, probably aiming to apply for 100. Go to job fairs. There is a huge cybersecurity event happening in Manchester in a week's time. You guys are in Manchester, right? Cybersec 25. If you can get there, be there, even for just one day, because you're going to go around, you're going to see the companies. You can chat to people from those companies. Hey, I'm looking at you doing my apprenticeship, getting an apprenticeship in cybersecurity. Would you be a good company to apply for? Oh, yeah, my name is blah, blah, blah. Here's my details. Can I grab yours? Thank you very much. Wait a day, send them off an email when you get home. Wait a day, give them a call. What's the worst that can happen? They'll say, apply when you finish the course, or they'll say, hey, I like your gumption. Give me your CV, apply for a role. I'll stick it straight in. Oh no, I got a job. Be a horrible thing to have, surely. No, just ask. Yeah. They're not going to boot you out for asking. Yeah. Plus, you can find out whether or not that's a good company to work for. Yeah. GCHQ are going to be there. It's actually sponsored by NCSC. I believe it is in, he says, because search all the open tabs on my phone. You guys know me in tabs. He says, Cyber UK. Um, view the program. Don't need to view the program. What's the date? Give me the exact date. Typically, the date is not on. Oh, we go. There it is. The 6th to the 8th of May. And it is literally cyber UK dot UK. And you know what? I spoke to my boss yesterday. I completely forgot to ask her if she would like to send me there for a day. So stupid. Like, boss, as a favor, could you pay for me to drive to Manchester? I'll get my own hotel room if you cover the fuel. Oh wait, what's going to be more expensive? I'll pay for the fuel. If you pay for the hotel room for a couple of nights, I'll even visit the Manchester office for a day. How's that sound? You know? She might go for it. She won't go for it. But I can ask. I believe they have some online seminars as well, Peter. George, you asked about studying CompTIA certs just using Professor. You can study for the CompTIA certs using just Professor Messer. Specifically, he does the A plus, Network plus, and Security plus. He only does those three. He focuses on those and those alone. You can then use other resources on top. He actually has extra resources you can buy. If you want to buy, like, here's a little book and training manual as well. But he does specifically those three. I used to use things like U certified, stuff like that as well. But there's no point spending money when you don't have to. As an indication on, say, Prince 2, the starting pay of Prince 2 to study the basic Prince 2, which doesn't have a certificate, is £7,500. To do the entire Prince 2, including a certificate, is about 16,000, which is why most people don't do it. Plus, it doesn't cover everything, nowhere near. That's why I recommend doing Project Plus instead. And does anyone else have any other goals they want to throw in? Who's got a 5-year goal? Has anyone got a 5-year goal? Throw me a 5-year goal. Yeah. Let's think to the far future. Ah, don't forget, in 3.5 years' time, Trump is no longer going to be in America. Well, he might be. They've got a lot of prisons over there, and he is a convicted felon. Or they did put a law in place in America that says you can't be president more than twice. You're only allowed to be president twice. I personally think they need to make an amendment to that law that says you can't be president twice in a row. Because what happens in America is the same as the UK. The last, year that a prime minister or a president is in power, they spend campaigning to become president or prime minister again. Just say they can't do it twice in a row, you know, and literally have them say that their vice is going to be the next president or prime minister. You can treat it as being on the job training, you know, be vice prime minister for a couple of years as on the job training for when you're the actual prime minister. Yeah. Who's got a good 5-year plan? Ooh, Adam, I like it. Forensic computer analyst. Ooh. So you're looking at police? They'd be good to go with. In fact, any police force would be good to go with to be aiming for that one. Definitely fun. Who else? GCHQ, MI5, MI6, MI7. Head of engineering. What type of engineering, Abdul? Big role. I once made one of these where I said I wanted to be a cleaner, and people were taking the mick out of me because I just said I wanted to be a cleaner, but I didn't say I wanted to be a security cleaner for data. And then we had to write an entire business plan for our business, and they realized that I actually meant taking people's paper and computers and digitally screening it and deleting it completely. Ooh, fantastic. I like it. George is revealing where he used to be a copper. Cheshire, I'm guessing. One thing I've learned over the years is IT is not like the movies, which is really annoying because I was expecting, flying numbers spinning around my head while using a computer. Peter, so 5-year manager in a GRC role. Nice. Getting the management route. You've already got the Gabe Newell haircut, so you could go for a role at Steam. Yeah, Peter, when you got your new management role, you're gonna need a training specialist to train people in IT, right? Just saying. Okay. Just so we're clear. Yeah, zero cyber stuff in Cheshire. I'm trying to think if I remember the chief super when we had the cybersecurity conference for the police. We did the country's first police cybersecurity conference. Had a brilliant name badge. It was magnetic. Uh, the biggest thing from the day that I remember was they were complaining they weren't allowed to use iPads. That their IT guys didn't let them use iPads and didn't explain to them why they weren't allowed to use iPhones and iPads. Because the police force next door, that superintendent, he was allowed to use an iPad, and he felt it just wasn't fair. So, I then had to launch into an entire discussion of why they're not allowed to use iPads, despite not working for their force. Yep. Free stuff they definitely get. Um, did I steal a pen on one of those days from any of the police superintendents? Yeah, you know I did. Uh, what can I say? So, if you've got some smart goals and you're looking at those smart goals and you're thinking about those 2 and 5 year plans, you can throw those smart goals straight into some of your plans as well. You could also chop up your plan. So your 5 year goal might be buy my own home. It's quite a popular one. You could put a 2 year goal inside that. So your 2 year goal can feed into your 5 year goal. And you could say, well, within 2 years, I want to have the finance put to one side to apply for a mortgage. Okay. And then how are you going to get that? Savings plans, IQAs, you can get, your ISAs. Okay. You can actually get on top of your finances. And end of the day, get a job. You know, much easier to get a mortgage when you have a job behind you as well. It used to be 3 months of pay slips. Now I think a lot of them ask for 6 months of pay slips. So get your tables going and some smart objectives. You've already got some of these going. What do I have here? So popular one for my students, buy my own home. Yeah. And then you've got measurable goals within inside that. Each of these measurable goals can itself become a smart goal for your smart table. You can break them down. So you see here I've got buy my own home, and it's got save 20K for a deposit. The next one down is start to save for a mortgage deposit. Okay. Organize finances, opening a savings account, use a savings method, so zero off or auto top up. Okay. I still use the auto top up now, and zero off is one of my favorites. If you guys haven't, have you guys ever seen the zero off method? It's great fun. So at the end of the month, whatever you hit the day before you get paid, everything that's in your current account, you stick in your savings account. So you've got zero, and then you get paid the next day. You zero it off. It's a sneaky trick. Yeah, you kind of have to get the overdraft done first as well. That one does help. I once found a current account when I was unemployed that gave me a bonus if I got paid into my current account. They gave me an increase in my amount, and I just took the money from that and put it towards my overdraft in another account every time I got paid. Kept clearing my overdraft. And I also found a credit card that gave me a cash that I could remove cash using the credit card. I couldn't pay off a negative balance, but I could take cash from the cash point using the credit card. So I got the credit card with 0% transfers, took cash out the cash point, paid off my overdraft with another account. I then transferred the money into the credit card to clear it because I wasn't allowed to do it the other way around. Just adding steps, but it worked. My next big thing is to increase my credit score. Apparently, 1,000 is the limit. I'm quite annoyed by that. Oh, sorry, 999 is the limit. So I'm on 999 with one place, and I'm on 800 and something with the other place. If I get myself a credit card, I'll go up. Do I need a credit card? No, but I want to get a bigger score because I've played too many games on Steam. It's like an achievement hunt for me now. So I'll take out the credit card just to buy some groceries with it every month, do my monthly food shop, and then I'll pay it off straight away, just so I can gain up on my scores. I'm kind of hoping a box appear in my vision when I do it. It says being achievement earned. Maxed out both credit score companies at the same time. It's a worthwhile goal in life. Now, when it comes down to the time, how long things are going to be taking, it's just down to you. I would prioritize all of the CompTIAs over the Google. The one exception is that 8-hour AI course because it's 8 hours and it's a course in AI and it's free. So come on, guys. That's the one exception. That's the only one I would say, you know, do before the CompTIAs. Otherwise, focus on the CompTIAs. Although they do cost money to do the exams, it is internationally recognized and it is the industry gold standard, which is the important thing.